Divine Mother,
Divine Mother,
dearest friend, beloved God,
dearest friend, beloved God,
Lord Jesus Christ,
Lord Jesus Christ,
Babaji Krishna,
Babaji Krishna,
Lahiri Mahashaya,
Lahari Mahashaya,
Swami Shri Yukteswar,
Swami Shri Yukteswar,
beloved Guru,
beloved Guru,
Paramahansa Yogananda,
Paramahansa Yogananda,
saints of all religions,
saints of all religions,
friend and guide,
friend and guide,
Swami Kriyananda,
Swami Kriyananda,
be with us in this satsang.
be with us in this satsang.
Help us to awaken
Help us to awaken
to our true selves,
to our true self,
one with the infinite light,
one with the infinite light,
created out of thy love,
created out of thy love,
to enjoy thy world,
to enjoy thy world,
to be instruments of your love,
to be instruments of your love,
to serve your work,
to serve your work,
and to live in joy.
and to live in joy.
We are your children.
We are your children.
Be with us always.
Be with us always.
Om. Amen.
Let's chant together. Possible that the line that we sing in the last line of this chant might be different than the one that Sergio and Narayani sing, because Swamiji changed the words at one point. So if it sounds like I'm throwing you a curveball, oh well. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai Radhe 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 Govinda Jai Radhe Radhe. Spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together, bliss in the spirit and bliss through all nature, bliss in the spirit and bliss through all nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai Radhe 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 Govinda Jai Radhe Radhe. Spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together, bliss in the spirit and bliss through all nature, bliss in the spirit and bliss through all nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai Radhe 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 Govinda Jai Radhe Radhe. Spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together, bliss in the spirit and bliss through all nature, bliss in the spirit and bliss through all nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai Radhe 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 Govinda Jai Radhe Radhe. Spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together, bliss in the spirit and bliss through all nature, bliss in the spirit and bliss through all nature. Radhe 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 Govinda Jai Radhe 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 Govinda Jai Radhe Radhe. Spirit and nature Radhe, spirit and nature dancing together, spirit and nature dancing together, bliss in the spirit and bliss through all nature, bliss in the spirit and bliss through all nature. Radhe, 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 Govinda Jai, 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 Jai. Omnipresence, I am Om. All pervading, I am Om. All blessed, I am Om. Om, come to me, come to me, oh, come to me. Om, come to me, come to me, oh, come to me. I am Om, I am Om, I am Om, I am Om. Omnipresence, I am Om. All pervading, I am Om. All blessed, I Let's meditate. Staying in this inward place with eyes closed. Let's listen to the reading that Swami Kriyananda chose for the second week in the month. That topic for the second week in Affirmations for Self-Healing is love. One finds love not by being loved, but by loving. We can never know love if we try to draw others to ourselves. We can never know love if we try to draw others to ourselves, nor can we find it by centering our love in them, for love is infinite. It is never ours to create. We can only channel it from its source in infinity to all whom we meet. The more we forget ourselves in giving to others, the better we can understand what love really is. And the more we love as channels for God's love, the more we can understand that His is the one love in all the universe. With great energy now, let's affirm together. I will love others, as extensions of my own self, and of the love I feel from God. I will love others as extensions of my own self and of the love I feel from God. I will love others as extensions of my own self and of the love I feel from God. I will love others as extensions of my own self and of the love I feel from God. I will love others as extensions of my own self and of the love I feel from God. Now take it into the superconsciousness, in the silence at the spiritual eye. I will love others as extensions of my own self and of the love I feel from God. I will love others as extensions of my own self and of the love I feel from God. Now silently repeat inwardly with me, O Infinite One, make me a channel for Thy love. Through me, reach out to sow seeds of love in barren hearts everywhere. We have a reading from another book that Swami Kriyananda wrote that is often used in the West as their ideas and guidelines for what's worth talking about. And this happened to be the one he wrote for the first week of the year. And
it says, at the heart of silence, the eternal world.
Just a moment. Apparently there's something needing to happen. You all get? Okay, good.
At the heart of silence, the eternal world. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. In the Gospel of St. John, chapter 1, these immortal lines appear. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by Him, and without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Human vision beholds individuality and separation everywhere. Divine vision beholds the oneness of cosmic vibration, of which all things, no matter how diverse, are manifestations. Cosmic sound, the word of God, the cosmic light, these are eternal. The world, as revealed to us by our senses, is illusionary. In Autobiography of a Yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda relates an early experience he received of the divine aspect of reality. Sitting on my bed one morning, I fell into a deep reverie. What is behind the darkness of closed eyes?
this probing thought came powerfully into my mind. An immense flash of light at once manifested to my inward gaze. Divine shapes of saints sitting in meditation posture in mountain caves formed like miniature cinema pictures on the large screen of radiance within my forehead. Who are you? I spoke aloud. We are the Himalayan yogis. The celestial response is difficult to describe. My heart was thrilled. Ah, I long to go to Himalayas and become like you. The vision vanished, but the silvery beams expanded in ever-widening circles to infinity. What is this wondrous glow? I am Ishvara, I am light. The voice was murmuring clouds. I want to be one with thee. Out of the slow dwindling of my divine ecstasy, I salvaged a permanent legacy of inspiration to seek God. Wise are we if we meditate on that experience of Yogananda's and salvage from it even a breath of his inspiration. For quite simply, there is nothing else. As Bhagavad Gita says in the 7th chapter, I make and unmake this universe. Apart from me, nothing exists. O Arjuna, all things, like the beads of a necklace, are strung together on the thread of my consciousness and are sustained by me. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind.
And in
Thank
the West,
you.
at this point, they do 3 ohms. Om, Om, Om. Or was that 7 ohms? Oh well. Lahari asked that one of Swamiji's songs be shared just before her discourse today. True? Still true?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hang on just a minute. One of his earliest songs that Swamiji wrote. It's called Farther Away Than the Stars. I have a love who's far away, far away, far away. I have a love who's far away, farther away than the stars. And yet she's stolen my heart away, heart away, heart away. And yet she's stolen my heart away, farther away than the stars. Keep me not bound, no, teach me to fly far from earth's madness, free ere I die. Keep me not bound here, teach me to fly farther away than the stars. There's nothing here nearly so dear, nearly so dear, nearly so dear. There's nothing here nearly so dear as her laughter away in the stars.
We are in the beginning of the year, after having reveled together in all the wonderful ceremonies of Christmas, Christ consciousness celebration, Yogananda's birthday, social time as a spiritual family, sharing love and friendship and satsang. Many of us had a chance to visit online with Narayani and Shurjo as they were in CC and giving us a little virtual visit really with Swamiji in his apartment there, where he was when he left the body on Lahari. Thank you for the plan B. So as I was saying, last evening we were given a virtual visit with Narayani and Shurjo as they're in Assisi and taking us through the little Moksha Kutir where Swamiji was for the last several years and where he left he kicked the bucket, escaped his mortal coil, merged with the infinite, and also left everyone behind to love him, celebrate his freedom, and adjust. Here we are in the beginning of the year, and for what Swamiji has written in a series of things that we read every week, Rays of the One Light, which gives us a little taste of the Bible and a little taste of the Gita, and how they both are expressing the same high truth of Sanatana Dharma. So it's the beginning of the year. Narayani and Shurjo took us to the beginning of what is our life at Ananda, Swamiji, who in his divine discipleship to Master created all that we have at Ananda and our opportunities to be together and learn and grow. And he shared teachings for years in all sorts of ways. So for 38 years or so, I've been hearing this reading at the beginning of the year. And, when you hear something several times, you take what you can from it, and then you make humorous ways of relating to it after that. And so in the beginning of the year, when we're talking about why did God create the world? How was the world created? And we start getting into what we playfully call one another, oh no, another one of those lectures on the cosmic gases. How will we relate to the cosmic gases? I mean, God is infinity beyond creation. The mind, it goes beyond the mind, and the mind boggles, and then after a while you have to just be humorous and laugh. But in fact, there is every level of truth in that impulse of creation that God has done for us. You watch everyone over the years go through their karmic upsets and their struggles and difficulties. And for many of us, one of the big questions, once we learn, okay, God is all love, God is all joy, God is the great light, let's live there, we're going to become one with Him, we're part of this journey. You kind of go, well, wait a minute, God, why did you create this whole place anyway? that gets us all stuck in the mud of delusion, and we have all these sufferings and this karma to expiate, and why? The big question, why did you do this? That becomes a mystery of creation, but it doesn't have to stay a mystery very long. Yogananda said that it's the nature of bliss to want to share itself. So we start to get better reasons. We struggle with this reason of, why did God create me? Oh, God created me because I have so much karma and I have to live all these lives and I got to get free, and oh my gosh, I better get to work, and how much karma do I have? And, so we sort of take it from various points of our journey. But when we hear why God really created from the saints, why they have pierced the mystery, they have pierced the veil of why God. And the why God, they say, is very, very simple. God did it out of love, out of the bliss of his own nature. And God is in nature, in us, in our nature, in the cosmic drama, the divine dance, different ways of looking at it that we start to get from these great masters who've gone to the other side. They don't need to come back. The creation is no longer primarily about their schooling, like many of us. We're in whatever grade we're in, and sometimes we're advancing, we're soaring on inspiration, and we get to skip a class or skip a grade, and that feels really good, soaring. And then sometimes, I didn't get those assignments right, so now I have to stay behind and go to summer school, or, I have to go back a year, and so that's the long journey to God. It's, I remember in the early years, I thought maybe I'd go into childhood development, so I took a little class, and one of the things that has helped me over the years, it says that with children, they don't develop on a natural, like just climbing a stair step or a hill. It doesn't just go naturally all the way up from the bottom to the top with one sort of straight line. There's something called advancing and regressing, or advancing and incorporating. So the child, you see them make great progress, and then they're learning to walk and they start toddling and they're so happy, and then they fall down because they're not quite ready to be walking and running, but they're getting there. And so that's like us. We go forward, and sometimes it's easy and we soar on inspiration, and it seems like the world is our friend and it's all going along well, and then we hit a test, and then we have to go back a little bit and get our foundation of my strength, my inner strength. Why am I here? What am I doing? I've come to grow closer to God. I've come to live in joy. We have to remind ourselves, get ourselves bucked up again, and then, continue the ascent. So I love that we're given these teachings of every single level. We're given the impersonal teaching that, yes, don't get stuck in adoring the Guru. That's a wonderful step, and it's a great blessing to realize how lucky we are, and to bow at the Guru's feet, and to take those blessings fully and completely with all of our love. That's a great divine blessing. And yet, what Yogananda did when people got too personal with him, he would hold them at arms because he didn't want them to think that he was the final place of God, because he was going to leave that body, for one thing. And I remember I had one ability to experience this with Swamiji. I'd been unwell for a while, and I was a little outside of my normal range of societal propriety, I guess I could call it. And I was recovering and still getting over anesthesia and whatnot. I had sort of unusual circumstances going on. And so I had an occasion to be with him. And when I looked at him, sort of the veil of, I'm here, I'm helping to do the work, and I've got this thing, and I'm relating to you, Swami Kriyananda, the writer, or whatever, and it just all sort of fell, and I just saw Swamiji's light and love and greatness and felt it and just went into it in the presence of him. Usually I would commune with him inwardly sitting in a room as we do, meditating, and then he'd be there and it would be, a better meditation. But in this case, I was like that, but here looking at him. And I'm sure my eyes just got, worshipful. I just was in that place of, sort of divine joy where it's just bigger than usual, bigger than you are, and the sort of awe-stricken, remember in the Gita it says, awe-stricken, the wise adore him. It was one of those sort of moments. And he just looked at me kindly. He always was kind with me. And he said, well, don't stop here. Go all the way to God. And that's always what the teachers who have no ego anymore, that's what they say. Come to me, sure, but don't stop here. Go all the way to God. So in this creation drama, we've got God, the infinite consciousness, the divine light, the bliss beyond, the omnipresence, all that expansive beyond reality. Reality is God here. And here we are, walking along. And what the masters bring us are these ways to bridge that gap, because usually we fill the gap, and I've learned to make friends with the gap, because I say, okay, fine, here's the gap again, and what can I long for God when I'm in the gap. And that becomes a kind of a magnet, because longing is answered, and longing is a magnet. You reach out your energy. We're very used to having desires, most of us, for this, that, the other. Some of them better than others. And we try and get rid of all of them. I will have no desires. Well, someday. But in the meantime, work with what you've got. I figure I know how to have desires. I've learned that. Pretty good at that. So why don't I just shift that a little bit and I desire God. All that energy that I would have put into anything else, human love, or you name it. You name your favorite, highest desires. Put that into, just shift it a little to God. Who is in the desire. He's in the thing you desire. He's in the fulfillment of the desire. And he's in the lack of fulfillment of the desire. The bridging the gap. And we have dedicated a fair amount. You might notice we usually, behind the scenes, we cook it up, ahead of time, Biraj and I, well, what should we talk about? And what's it going to be? And what music can we use? Because music is a big part of the Ananda language and Swamiji's language and devotees all around the world language, because it goes right to the heart. The rhythms, the melodies, the words, chanting. Swamiji called much of his music painless philosophy, philosophy in song. So instead of wrinkling the brow and trying to figure out the philosophy of this and that and the other, we just sing and we hear these teachings and gee, they're true. And we notice, hey, this is nice, it's true. And we remember them often. So the song, music is one of those bridges. And we get ever toward more refined areas of looking at the bridge and what the masters have given us. And one of the things that I was so happy to discover was Yogananda saying that Divine Mother, whom as a child I had relationship with in my heart, that Divine Mother was Om. I thought, well, what does that mean? I knew a lady who was in blue, and I knew, she would appear to certain children, and she would love and have miracles and pray, and she was happy, to help everyone, and she was the divine mother of God, and I just loved her. So how could she be Om? She was something else to me. And then I realized, well, this is how the universe is constructed, a little bit like diagramming a sentence. You have this, 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 and it all comes together to make the whole. And so there's God beyond creation, which is silent and still, no movement. In the heart of every atom, in the heart of every center of every heart, there's God, stillness. And he wants to share his love with the world. He wants to enjoy bliss through many. He wants to create. It's a creative force God has as a wish for all of us to, yes, grow. But Yogananda said there were really only 3 reasons to be in a body, to incarnate and live in life. One was for our amusement. This world is pretty funny, you gotta admit. He used to say, oh, what do you think about this and that and this person? Why bother? This world's a zoo. This world's a zoo. And, I have laughed at that phrase a lot because it's not always easy, but it is a zoo. And so for our amusement, our entertainment, and our education. So those 3 reasons are why we were born. So it makes it simple. What are we doing? Are we enjoying God's creation? Are we enjoying the joke that this world is a zoo and here we are? And some people act like they have, 2 heads or no heads. People are acting all sorts of ways. We can get upset, or we can say, oh, that's interesting, like being in the zoo, walking around, looking, watching. And are we getting educated? Are we learning how to live? How to live schools is what Yogananda wanted for children, and we have education for life schools that Arivan and others, Niyati, people around the world are helping people learn how to live, because the world in this zoo doesn't always give us what we need to learn how to have a happy life. They give us goals, give us information, give us technology, give us more technology, they give us more. Anyway, it goes on and on like that. They give us a lot of things, but do they give us a real knowing, experience, practice, modeling of how to be happy? So that's what the Guru brings, be happy. I remember there was a devotee who was struggling. You get to live in community, and you see, and you get to learn from that too. It was very, very much struggling. We worked in the same office. I didn't know what his struggle was, but I could see it was weighing on his head. He wasn't happy. His face didn't look the same as before, and he sort of had a heaviness in his body and his eyes, and so he felt compassion, but I didn't know anything about it. But one day, he went to visit Swami. And, in the ashram, you kind of get a feel for where you all are. And so everybody was kind of like, oh, good, he's going to get to be with Swamiji. We hope that can help him. So he was a man who was a bit proud and wanted to do it his own way and, kind of a little Western, machismo a bit. And so he never wanted to talk about anything with anybody. And so he went to Swamiji, and he came back and just quietly had a picture of Swamiji on his desk while he was working. And he had written in his hand and put above the picture, "The goal is freedom." And he'd gotten that little bit that he could hang on to from his talk with Swamiji, and it helped him, unwind from that karma and get back to the center, a little bridge. Even a moment in the company of a saint can be a raft across delusion. Little bridges. So Om is a bridge that we can all access, isn't it? Yogananda brought this technique for us. And the thing about Om, it's Divine Mother, he says. So what does that mean? There's the Father, and then there's the Mother. And what does the Mother do? The Mother gives birth. The Mother sort of wrestles with Maya for the family in order to have the creation go. And so Divine Mother, very simply, it's the stillness, and then there's the beginning vibration, the word Om, which is the vibration, the cosmic motor, we call it. It's vibratory energy that's going like this. And that is required for creation, because everything in creation has to have a positive and a negative pole, all the atoms, it goes on out from there. So creation is Divine Mother coming forth, God coming through Divine Mother into the world. And so we see it comes from that, it goes in its Divine Mother vibration, then it becomes, all the bodies through the medulla, it becomes, the vibrating atoms that hold the furniture up. It becomes this whole universe, this whole material world that we live in. So we're given a clue here. Starts here, goes through this vibration into our lives and into our hearts and even into our desires, the vibration of I like it, I don't like it, I like it, I don't like it, that vibration going up and up like that. It causes a bit of distraction and a little bit of restlessness. And so we like to get beyond that if we're going to go deep in meditation. So lo and behold, the masters say, fine, this is how it came. Boop, boop, boop. I'm going to show you how to get back. So the get back part is just sit, do your pranayams, do your concentration, your hongsa, get yourself ready. At some point in your meditation, do the Om technique. Listen, listen. Till you can hear some kind of that sound that's going on. And listen more, and listen deeper. And then, as they tell us, you will hear the sound of Om. And that sound, being Divine Mother, is taking us where? Closer, right to the edge of where the Heavenly Father and the expansive divine stillness is. So we have a promise here, and we have an opportunity to follow that vibration wherever we are, however restless it is in the moment. Just let that vibration come on back to where it started in the spine, and then quiet it with the practices of yoga that we have, and then listen and allow yourself, as it says, to become absorbed in Om. We sing a lot, receive me on thy lap, O Mother, and I don't know anyone who doesn't love that song. I mean, we have different natures, and some people are more jnanic, and they like to use discrimination. It's not this, it's not that, I'm not my ego. They have a way with wisdom, and they can get close to God in their way. But there's a point where all the particulars of your approach to God fade away. And it's in that communion, as you start to allow yourself to be absorbed, is what we're encouraged to do with Om. Let yourself be absorbed in Om. Let yourself become one with Om. Let Om comfort you. Let Om take you to God. Let Om take you to that vast cosmic mystery, stillness, expansion, omnipresent light. So it's a mystery, but I always enjoyed Swamiji when I was working in his publishing house, Crystal Clarity. He went through these, he got this idea and he just made it, he just kept going with it, and it was secrets. Everybody loves a secret. You see people, tell me a secret. Don't tell anybody. This is a secret. I discovered a secret. There's this sort of intimate connection about secrets that goes on. So he just sort of embraced all that. Sure, why not? The secrets of life, the secrets of happiness, the secrets of prosperity, the secrets of inner peace, the secrets. And we just watched him. He did these little books. They were gift books that were made to sell in gift shops all over the United States from a big company in New York, Times, I believe, Times Warner. Anyway, so it was a chance for him to really touch a lot of people through these little gift books. So forget how many he did, 12, 15, 20, anyway. He put them all together in something called Secrets of Life, if you're ever curious. So the mystery of the beginning, in the beginning was the Word, and also in the end is the Word. It's a nice full circle. And any time we can get ourselves quiet and still enough, go in meditation, even just for a couple of breaths. You know, Hong Sa's a wonderful friend, I call it. As I go through life, when I first learned Hong Sa, I had this sort of high reverence for Kriya. I couldn't just go anywhere and sit down in a minute and do a deep Kriya. I wasn't able, and still don't do that well. I have to kind of have my little scene environment and all of that ready. But Hong Sa, I could do it anywhere. Standing in line in the post office, standing in the market, waiting for something. Hong Sa, as a mantra, and then a little bit with the breath, and just come back to that state of meditation that we foster and cultivate and build and grow through our long meditations and through our intense chanting and all the things we do where we have those moments. Could be stillness, could be just joy, light. We can tap into that by just going into something so simple as a mantra or a breath. We're only one breath away from God. Communion from God, stillness. So in this coming year, let us all have many of those breaths into the Divine Mother's lap and into the stillness of God. Now we have something else.
us out with a prayer?
Let's end our satsang prayer. Heavenly Father,
Heavenly Father,
Divine Mother,
Divine Mother,
dearest friend, beloved God,
dearest friend, beloved God,
Lord Jesus Christ,
Lord Jesus Christ,
Babaji Krishna,
Babaji Krishna,
Lahiri Mashai,
Lahiri Mashai,
Swami Shri Yukteswar,
Swami Shri Yukteswar,
beloved Guru,
beloved Guru,
Paramahansa Yogananda,
Paramahansa Yogananda,
saints of all religions,
saints of all religions,
friend and guide Swami Kriyananda,
friend and guide Swami Kriyananda,
help us in this new year
help us in this new year
to dive deep in inner communion,
to dive deep in inner communion,
to find your peace,
to find your
to
peace,
find your love,
to find your love,
to find your joy,
to find your joy,
and to find our oneness
and to find our oneness
with your divine consciousness.
with your divine consciousness.
Guide our every step
Guide our every step
through this new year,
through this new year,
that it bring us ever closer
that it bring us ever closer
to the divine shores,
to the divine shores
perfect love,
of perfect love,
perfect bliss.
perfect bliss.
Om.
Om.